XRP. The amount of people still talking about it is very high, and I'd say logically so. I mean, it's been a very long time since the price hit an all-time high or has actually seen a price above $1, but I think after a certain amount of years, you kind of get numb to it. But let's quickly talk about something here. I think a question that must be on a lot of people's minds is this. XRP did not have a crazy rally in 2024 yet. Should XRP holders be relaxed or concerned this year? And almost every single day when I read through the comments, the most asked question is either, what are your top coins, or should I be buying, or should I keep holding on to my XRP, or what about XRP? And the simplest answer I can give you is, I'm still holding XRP. But whenever I go to conferences now, most people are laughing at me for XRP, whereas a while back, like back in 2017, 2018, but also in the 2021 run, the excitement was a lot more there, and there were more people who understood the idea than now. Point being, I personally think buying XRP dips can be smart because almost every single time there's a massive dip, there's actually a good opportunity for some gains. This is the XRP to Bitcoin chart. And if we're taking a look at prices right now, the negative part is that these previous dips, so the lower points are basically the second line, is about 50% lower than the price we're at right now. This is versus Bitcoin. The good part being that usually it bounces from here and bounces really hard. And whereas in 2021, it had a pretty good bounce, but still only roughly 5x of what it is right now. If we take a look back at 2017, the returns, if we get back to those levels, would be insanity. And that's where I'd like to present today's point, which is the way I look at XRP is not a matter of how good is the tech and how much will people recognize that. Because back in 2017, the tech was a very minimal part of what it is today. And similarly back here in 2014, 2015, yeah, tech wasn't really comparable, yet the price was at like 10x of what it is today relative to Bitcoin. But all I'm thinking is XRP gonna get that excitement back? And is it just basically going to replicate some of the move of prior? And to that, I think there's only two options. One, it literally is going to bottom out, die, to never recover again, just keep continuing on lower, following along the paths of EOS. And if you don't know what EOS is, well, there you go, because it's not really in the top of the top anymore at all. They don't even know what place it is because nobody ever talks about it. It just basically became completely obsolete. NEO kind of did also, but not as much so. Here we go, EOS at 88th spot, which used to be like 4th or 6th. I don't even remember which place it was at. The price was like $30. Right now, it's not even $1. But generally speaking, I don't think the same future is set for XRP. I think the probability of having a good bounce from here and basically move upwards like most altcoins will is pretty great. And from that perspective, buying at these lower sections has historically proven to be a pretty good idea. Again, if you bought every single time the RSI got so oversold, there might have been one little misser right here. If you bought this initial dip right here, for example, if you bought this one specifically, it might have not worked out too well unless you sold quickly. But generally speaking, if you always just bought on the RSI, more times out than not, you would have had a beautiful trade. And that's kind of the way I'm seeing it here as well. It might take a little bit of time. And yes, there is slightly more room to go down. This might scare people, but I'd say even 50% more down versus Bitcoin would be possible. But from there on forward, there really isn't too much of an option anymore. It just has to go for a massive skyrocket. And like I said a little bit earlier over on Twitter, the more down it goes, the more power for gains there are. Now, let me say something again. I'm not actively buying XRP because I've already got enough. And I always tell people, don't go for something undervalued or that you're hopeful of when it's not hyped up. Meaning, I've got a good chunk of XRP because I got it a while back, and I'm not really selling because hopefully you guys remember my story with Solana. The way I made crazy gains on this coin was by not getting rid of it at 1 cent or roughly 1 cent and just holding it all the way towards the top. Right now it's at $3.50 or so. So $1,000 would right now be worth, I think, $340,000. I could have sold it all at the bottom at like 1 cent, but I didn't. And that's kind of how I feel about XRP. Now, If I could go back in time to buy SOLANA at a cent, would I do it? No. And that might sound strange to people. Why wouldn't you buy something that did so crazy afterwards? If I knew it was going to go crazy afterwards, I would. But the thing is, a lot of coins die out to never recover. But at some point, the way I see it is, it can only go down. It's a stupid mentality, but it can only go down a little, but the upside is very, very great. With XRP, similar. The alts, like XRP, Cardano, and some of those coins, they really haven't gone for a crazy run. Many altcoins that are not in the hyped up sectors like RWA and AI have not peaked, have not gone for a massive move, but I still think it'll happen. And so I'm holding on for dear life on them, because selling them now would only hurt me more mentally. And I'd say there's only two exceptions to that rule. One is if you've got a really solid plan. I think if you sell XRP now and you want to buy something that's more hyped up, this might sound crazy, but even if you buy meme coins, I could understand it, because you're going for something that's actively moving. So you're trying to catch that quick wave. Ultimately, you can always use the gains to buy more of the crypto that you sold. And this goes for any crypto that's been undervalued, getting to a nice price, but isn't really hyped up. And that's because I like to follow the trend in bull markets. Just go for what's working. Don't try to predict the next big thing. Go for the big thing that's going to get even bigger. However, I kind of have easy talking because I've got the funds to basically buy whatever I want. Additionally, from my holdings, I don't necessarily have to sell anything. And if I had to buy the next big thing, honest truth, I probably would do it a little bit. I personally think always it's better to have like 5, maybe 10, maybe 20 different little baskets where some of them just can absolutely pop off and skew your portfolio completely. Again, think of SOLANA. If I had just put into 20 different cryptos, some might fail, some might do okay, but you only need one banger to turn that $1,000 into 400,000, 800,000. And you might say, whoa, but if I'd put everything in that one, that would have been way more, because if you had a $10,000 basket, you put it all in SOLANA, it would have been, wow, 8 million, whatever. But the thing is, you never know whether or not that's going to happen, right? You can never know up front, because if you did, then it would all be easy. And people seem to think so about XRP too. They seem to think, well, if I just put everything in there, the moment it pops off, it'll be amazing. And that's true, but you want that pop-off moment, and it could happen for another coin way quicker. For example, if you put into 10 cryptos right now, one of them pops off in a week or two, and XRP and the other other 8 coins don't do anything for like another few weeks, you've already got one massive gainer now that you can use to fund more investments or put back into the asset that hasn't moved, with the anticipation that most of them probably won't do anything right now. On the opposite side, I think that right now we're getting towards a little ticking time bomb where if Ethereum ETFs get denied, it could be a slight little bleed for altcoins. But in the leading up to it, there might be a good opportunity, as Ethereum right now is pretty much skyrocketing versus Bitcoin. And usually when Ethereum starts to go on a rally, it could transfer over into some of our main alts. And perhaps some of that dominance is slipping away from Solana, getting back into ETH, and also reviving the excitement in old altcoins like Cardano, like an XRP, etc. But so the consensus here, the conclusion of my story, I'm not selling XRP. Unless I've got a better idea at the time. Again, as I said before, if you're able to buy pre-sales, I would definitely sell any crypto I have to buy into that because of the the risk reward. It's just better. And it's always a prioritizing at the moment. It's not a, oh, but my XRP could be worth so much, or my BTC could be worth so much. No, it's whatever the cash is most useful for right now, I'd go for it. Don't think about what it could have been. Don't think about, oh, but this is gonna blow up soon. You never know. Go with the information that you have at the time. Now, point number 2, I think XRP has been undervalued for a long time, but let's be real. It's been 7 years or some since it hit an all-time high. You can keep waiting forever, but at some point you got to just go with the flow. I personally keep my money in XRP still because it's in cold storage and I'm not going to touch anything because the altcoin season isn't fully here yet. And a lot of coins haven't popped off. Like most of the top coins that did well in previous seasons haven't popped off. But the counter to that is I like to, whenever we're talking about buying new coins, go for whatever's in the season, whatever's hot, like AI coins, RWA coins, etc., and not just stick to my old gems. My biggest mistake in 2021 is doing that, where I was just keeping my money in all the safe coins, etc. And I said 2024, we're going to do it differently this run. Just go really high on the risk scale, because otherwise you're never going to really upgrade. If you keep playing it safe all the time, I always regret it in the end because you know so well that in altcoin season, everything does well. You should just grab the most exponential and craziest ones, which sometimes can be really scary with meme coins, for example, but ultimately it's worth it. And I personally think if I didn't try and I just kept safe with my gains, I really wouldn't be satisfied with that. It's like 100x or go home, baby. As a last but not least, if we're looking at almost any single metric, XRP has bottomed out so much that yes, there's slightly more room to go down, but realistically speaking, this is basically as far as it can come versus Bitcoin. And if it doesn't make a move at some point very soon here, which again, historically, it's almost always done, this is like one of the lowest points ever, then it's literally time to kind of give up. If it doesn't do anything soon, which again, I think it will, because it does make a lot of sense, then it's hard to play advocate for. You might say, oh, but the Ripple's treasury, so let's say XRP's treasury is massive. They've got all the money in the world to do things with. And I keep thinking, they can do whatever they want. It's just a matter of the right timing, and it's just a matter of pushes. But for some reason, they're not pushing it, which could be because Ripple's got a massive plan. They might want to wait lawsuits out. They might want to wait for ETF announcements, etc. But again, this can be said about so many different things out there that, oh, but they're just waiting. Yeah, but you as a normal investor don't know. So you can keep speculating on that or keep doing the best with the information that you've got, which is, well, let's just look at whatever coins, whichever sector is hottest, and fully focus on that. And I think this might come as a kick to the face to some people who are only into XRP. And I'll say this again, I'm still holding the majority of all my XRP. Can't remember the last time I sold some, but I'm also not actively buying too much more. If you're buying dips, I don't think it's a stupid idea because there's still massive money to be made on XRP dips. Matter of fact, you could even retire off of only buying XP dips. Just to put it into perspective here, if you bought like a week or so ago, you could have bought at 41 cents, right now at 52 cents. Nobody can tell me that these aren't massive moves. It's just like up 25% in a week or two. And that's the point where you don't really need the price to move to $20 to be successful or happy. A lot of people, they only need the price to move 1, 2, 3% and they're done for their lifetimes. And again, I'll add, if you just bought XRP anywhere in the past here and you DCA'd your way down, there's literally no way to be at a loss. And that's one thing that many people fail to realize, that XRP throughout the last year or two has actually been really, really good. Is just below standard to people in the crypto space. Looking at it, right? If you bought at the start of last year, you could have bought it like 34 cents. Right now in the middle of the 50s and just 3 weeks ago or so, mid of the 60s, you could have basically doubled your money in a year and a bit. And if we take a look back all the way towards let's just say May of 2022, you couldn't have been at a loss right now for buying XRP. Yes, if you bought one outlier here on the lawsuit day, but then if you just bought a couple weeks afterwards, again, it might have averaged out to you now being in profit again, or at least being in profit like a week or two ago. And so if the question is, will you be able to get into profit again? I don't think you should ever sell a coin like XRP at a loss unless you've got a really, really good plan. Because at that point, I'd say, yeah, just buying your way down lower, making sure your average price is solid and just cashing out a good break upwards is the best way to go. On an opposite side, the way I think about it is, if you don't have the issue of taxes with your capital gains, losses, and wins, you could literally just rotate out at any point, just buy the next thing. If you've got some really good, I'd say, certainty that something will do really well. For example, a certain coin is going to get a certain exchange listing rather soon. Probability of the coin pumping is, I'm going to say 3/4, 75%. There's a good chance though, so 1/4, that it will still do nothing or the market's moving down. But that's good enough odds to just go for it. In that case, again, selling it for another one is fine because at the end of the day, you can almost always still move back. Usually these markets don't really move that quickly. And the point is, if it does move so quickly and you just sold some, at least you only sold some, you've got the majority of your coins left to enjoy, which is always keeping me sane. The fact that if XRP were to make a massive move right now and I just sold something for the next coin, I'd still have the majority of my bag. And you could always, also have some long positions open on the side to replace it, for example, where you just replace your spot for a long while you use the cash to buy something else and then weigh it off again later. But yeah, my personal plan is XRP is way too freaking low to even touch because I still think that it does make sense for it to make a massive move. But I'm not waiting for it every single day, looking at the price. Oh, what's XRP at? Let me buy some more. No, I don't care anymore at this point. It's just a matter of, it's been long overdue. The price has been pushing down a lot. And again, mostly just versus Bitcoin, not versus the dollar. The dollar is actually doing quite nice. And for me, there's no giving up because I ain't no quitter. I'm never going to be like, oh, I've sold everything. A lot of people comment that they have. No matter. It's no foul in this game. Nothing is wrong. Do with your money as you please. Do whatever you think is best. We can look at partnerships. We can look at this, that. Don't really care about it too much because tech ain't everything in this game, ladies and gentlemen. You might say, oh, but the tech or the partnerships, this, that. So what about price then, huh? Price is a completely different unit altogether. The way I keep seeing it is Ripple wants it this way. They know what they're doing. They're not stupid. And they might have something crazy planned. They might not. I do think they're not stupid yet again, though. So perhaps me saying this all now is just, calling Ripple's bluff a little bit, where Ripple's watching this thinking, let's show these guys what we can do in terms of pumps. On the opposite side, from Ripple's perspective, they don't need the price to pump too much. They can just keep selling XRP whenever they want to, get more cash, build out the XRP ecosystem more so there's slightly more demand for the coin, so they can sell more, so they can keep building more, so they can sell more. On the opposite side, again, I'm going to play devil's advocate here by saying, yeah, they might be thinking of the next bull run even to just make it go to $50,000. Who cares? Let's just say a random price. And they're thinking of the long 10-year game instead of like the short 1-year game, which is also possible. It's very much possible. But yeah, those are my 2 cents on the situation. Ethereum's doing well though. It could mean a juicy push for a lot of these top altcoins. Could finally be time. Let me know what you think down below. And again, just wanted to give my 2 cents. Let me know down below if you're still holding or you've given up or what you think. That's about it.